I untied the yellow ribbon around her neck, but Krista's head then fell off. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be filming a reading my disturbing childhood fantasies. Let's call it that. So in this folder, I have like a whole bunch of paper type books, and I would write disturbing stories in each of these books because I was obsessed with horror, suspense, type things. So I wrote a lot of stories about all those fantasies. Not gonna lie, a lot of the stuff is like plagiarized. A lot of it is plagiarized. It's just stories that I read online. I was like, ooh, that's a good idea. So either I like completely copied it or I switched up a few words here and there. Okay, so the next story is gonna be urban legends. This one should be really good. And wait, urban legends. Gosh, I need to read right. By Tiara Porter. Most scariest passed around legends found in this book and now given to you. I suggest you don't read this at night. Really, Tiara? Is it really that scary? We're gonna find out. Urban legend number 1, Poodle Dinner. This is a thick book, by the way, just letting y'all know. It was a warm, sunny day, and an elderly grandmother had decided it'd be the perfect day to give her poodle a nice bath. As she bathed the little tramp, she had gotten a phone call from her granddaughter. Hey, Grandma! Did you forget about your drink dates at the K Cafe? Oh, darn. I had. I'll get ready and I'll be on my way. Okay, bye. As she hung up, she had begun drying her dog. I'm gonna be late and this is gonna be a while. A thought appeared on her face as she looked at the microwave.
Oh, hell no!
She rushed over, opening the microwave and placing her poodle inside, closing the door. You'll dry quicker. As Grandma had just finished getting dressed, a loud bang came from the kitchen. Am I gonna get... I don't feel good. She rushed in. Oh my gosh! Granny! What did you expect? A microwave. She yelled, seeing black dust everywhere. Just as she was about to cover the evidence, she had noticed something moving. As she looked over, she saw there licking herself was the poodle. What the? I'm getting goosebumps. That was creepy. She put the poodle in the microwave. The poodle blew up. So how'd a poodle on the ground licking himself? Urban legends number 2, thump, thump, drag. It was a dark, windy night and a babysitter had agreed to take care of their kids. As she laid the kids down, she went downstairs to watch the news. She had heard that there was a crazy psychopath murder on the loose and was in the area. So she had gotten up and locked all the doors and windows, but forgotten about the basement bulkhead. Later to say, the psychopath broke in. A few minutes later, the kids heard banging noises, so they just thought she had invited someone over. And we're doing grown-up things. About 30 minutes later, the kids heard noises, but it was different. Like someone hurtling up the stairs. Thump, thump, drag. Thump, thump. There's my throat. Drag. The next morning, the kids' parents came home screaming. There on the top of the stairs was the babysitter halfway up the stairs with her arms hacked off to the elbows. Her whole body was jacked up too. Really? Was she trying to check on the children? Was she attacked? Or in the madness of her deep soul, was she trying to kill the kids herself? I don't think she was trying to kill the kids herself. I feel like the psychopath. But why wouldn't the psychopath kill the kids too? I'm a little confused. Anyways, this story, Urban Legends number 3, Killer in the Backseat. I am so terrified of this story. This is why I always have to check my backseat every time I leave work or anything. A woman was on her way home from a good night of partying with her girlfriends. She had noticed she needed gas and pulled into a gas station. As she started pumping her car, a guy walked up next to her with a worried look on his face. I need to tell you something. the man said, looking around. "Oh, okay," she said, opening her car door, hopping in and starting the car. "Please, let me explain." "Step out of the car." She drove off, giving him the finger. "You perv," she hollered, laughing to herself. Just then, the man drove out of the gas station, speeding to the back of her car. About every 5 seconds, the man flashed his lights and honked. She then realized that she had to deuce this guy. She reached the next exit and swerved as she reached her house. As she reached her house, she hurtled to a stop and rushed to her door, pulling out her keys. Just then, she screamed as the guy grabbed her. "Hey! I'm trying to save your A. And you're running and screaming." He opened the backseat of her car, and there on the ground was a killer with a knife. Turns out he was trying to slice her. But every time the man in the truck blew his horn and flashed his headlights, the killer would then go back down. As she swerved, the killer sliced himself, bleeding to death. Wow, sir. Next, Urban Legends number 4, Lisa. "Mommy, I miss Daddy," Lisa said, beginning to cry. "Lisa, come. He's been gone for 2 years now, girl. There's nothing we can do." "Look for him, Mommy. He went missing by going into the forest." "I guess you're right," Lisa's mom said, putting her shoes on. The babysitter will... Did this mom just agree when she just said he was gone for 2 years? Have they not looked in the forest already? Okay. "The babysitter will watch you. I'll be back. Okay, Lisa?" Mommy said. "Mommy, there's something in the bathroom. Please don't leave me. Can I go?" Lisa said, grabbing on her jacket. Her mom banged on the bathroom door. "See, there's nothing in there." "But Mommy..." Lisa's mom then left, leaving Lisa and the babysitter alone. When Lisa's mother finally came home, she was greeted by a foul odor. She opened the backyard door to check. She saw the babysitter died, hanging from the tree. "Oh my gosh." Then she stopped in front of the bathroom. As she opened the door, Lisa was dead and skinned inside the bathtub as her mother shrieked in horror. On the mirror in Lisa's blood was, "Don't you wish you listened to Lisa?" Her mother noticed something only that her husband did. The crooked smile face. Just then, she heard footsteps and felt breathing on her neck. "Glad you're here. Want to join our little game?" Why did the husband wait 2 years to kill them up? Urban Legends number 5, Laura. "Laura is such a preppy schoolgirl," Kelsey said. "She's my friend, sorta." "Yeah, she has so many friends though, and she had at least 10 boyfriends that's been jerks to her," I explained secretly. "I like Laura, and I love the way she is. Frankly, I fake like I hate her just in front of Kelsey." Later in class. "Okay, so for the project, I'll assign you partners. Derek and Amanda, Amy and Cameron, and Laura and Lindy." Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I was working with what the heck? I thought the girl's name was Laura. Oh, okay. Laura and Lindy. Lindy is the character, okay. "Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I was with the most pretty, popular, and hottest girl in school. I feel so bad for you," Kelsey said, frowning. "No, I'm sorry for you. Sorry that you always have to be jealous of Laura," I said, going to the bathroom. "Oh, hey, Lindy. So glad we're partners. Oh, hey, can we meet up at your house? Here's my number." "Oh, hey, me too. Yes, and thanks." "Haha, sorry, just excited my boyfriend is taking me to prom. Anyway, see ya, bye." There at my door was Laura. "Hey," I said, "come to my room." She flopped on my bed. "Hey, I'll be right back. Just need to grab something," I said, grabbing it and coming back. "Hey, what's behind your back?" Laura said, still preppy like. "Oh, nothing. Want to play a game before we start?" "Au revoir." "Sure. You know, I really like you, and I never want this to be strange between us. I never want you to leave me, Laura." "Why are you standing?" I yelled, losing my chill. "Oh, why are you standing?" I said, losing my chill. I was heading to the bathroom. "Before you go, always remember, love hurts." What? That's when I rushed to her, gutting her in the stomach once. She finally died, and I cut her and kept the head. "You okay, Lindy?" I mean, I guess it's too late to ask that, but was it necessary though? Y'all couldn't just be partners and turn into friends. And kept the head. Is that bad when you love someone so much that you don't want nobody to harm them? I mean, when you put it that way. Urban Legend number 6, Granny got a hatchet. I, married couple, had decided to take a vacation, so they paid a babysitter to watch their kids while they were away. Psst, Bob, don't you think this babysitter's a little old? Amy whispered. Old people love kids, I guess. Hello, Miss Hatchet. Make sure the kids are asleep by 7:30 and don't eat after 5. Yes, ma'am, Miss Hatchet said, smiling at the kids. As the parents left, the kids saw Miss Hatchet holding a paper. What you got there? The baby girl said. Well, I usually make a delicious stew on my last day of sitting kids, but whatever you do, don't look at this sheet. It's personal That night, the babysitter began watching TV. The kids were curious of what really was on that paper and snuck into her staying room. Let's see. I think it's in... They then heard a sound. Wow! You kids don't listen. Get out and go to sleep, she said, giving them a very evil eye the next night. As the babysitter fell asleep, the kids went to, once again, get the sheet. As they walked in, the babysitter was asleep with the sheet in her hands, curled up. The kids snuck the paper out of her hands, turned around, and uncurled the sheet. They read, Children's Stew. Step 1, enter a babysitting job. Step 2, make the parents like you. Step 3, have the kids try to take the sheet. She already knew. Step 4, fake to fall asleep. Step 5, have kids take sheet out of hands. Step 6, just a line. What the? Why is 6 blocked out? The daughter said. Seems you kid would like to try this children's stew. Want it sliced, diced, or dead? Miss Hatchet said, smiling. Then she pulled a hatchet out from behind her back, skinning them and making her famous stew. This was her favorite. Miss Hatchet! Time! Urban Legends number 7. The Mysterious Ribbon. Ooh, I remember this one. When I was a kid, I known this girl, Krista. She was beautiful. She has long, straight brown hair, brownish gray eyes, and wore the most sexiest clothes I've ever seen. But there was one thing she always wore. This yellow ribbon. Soon, it started to annoy him. Why do you wear that ribbon around your neck, Krista? I'd ask her every day, but she would never tell. Although the ribbon, I still loved her. It finally occurred to me that I and Krista were going steady, and I still didn't know why she wore that ribbon. So I asked her about it yet again, and yet she didn't tell me. Maybe someday. She'd say, it really annoyed me. But I struggled. This keeps changing from first person to third person. Like, okay. I shrugged it off soon. I proposed to Krista and I was accepted. We planned a big wedding and Krista hinted that she might tell him about the mysterious ribbon on her neck at our wedding. Later on, I had forgotten about the ribbon and never got around to asking her. Once I asked again, she had told me, we're so happy together. What difference does it make? I decided she was right. Soon we raised a family of 4 with usual up and downs. We had kids. They had asked me about her ribbon. I just hushed them. Somehow, none of the kids dared to ask her. About a month later, I had finally, dang, did she ever wash it? Or, like, did she just keep her head out of the shower? About a month later, I had finally asked Krista about the ribbon. She shook her head and gave a sad smile. Okay, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and untie it with shaking hands. I untied the yellow ribbon around her neck, but Krista's head then fell off. She was ready to die? Maybe she was just done with him asking, but like she literally just could have told him that. He wasn't that serious, girl. He wasn't. Okay, number 8. Don't open your eyes. That was sad. Go. Dang. My sister Sarah and I were at the park and it was a lovely day. Our town was a great place to grow up in. Crime hardly ever happened there. Everyone knew everyone. The park was crowded with families and I recognized everyone. Well, almost everyone. There was a strange woman sitting on the park bench on the other side, but she seemed harmless. Just sitting there reading a book, minding her own business, as you should. So I don't think too much about it. My sister and I love to play a game called Don't Open Your Eyes, where one person closes their eyes and the other person tries to trick you into opening them. You usually try to scare them. We sat under a tree and played. It was my turn. I tried tickling her, but it only made her laugh, so I pretended to leave. She fell for it. Sarah opened her eyes, and when she saw me, she was relieved. It was now her turn. I closed my eyes and took a breath. Sarah laughed, and I couldn't help but laugh, too. All of a sudden, the laughing stopped, and all the sounds around me. Sarah, are you there? I asked. I wanted to open my eyes so bad, but something in my head said, don't. Becca, help! Please help me! Now I really wanted to open my eyes, but Sarah usually did this to scare me into opening my eyes. So I sat there as she yelled. My stomach started to turn, and I didn't think I could take it anymore. The screaming stopped, and a whisper said, don't open your eyes. I opened my eyes despite what I heard, only to see everyone gone, but my sister hanging from a tree, dead. I called 911 and sat there, stunned and shocked. I looked at where the lady was sitting and saw her book. I walked over and pulled out a written note in dark red ink, almost like it was blood. Don't you wish you opened your eyes? These stories really starting to mess me up. Urban Legends 9. It was a stormy night and the little girl was left alone with only her and her dog. She made sure to lock all the doors and windows except one. This again? The window upstairs. The window upstairs wouldn't shut. Oh my gosh. Except one. One window upstairs wouldn't shut. She decided to leave it and go to sleep. This night she had trouble sleeping, and usually when that happened, she put her hand under her bed and her dog would lick it to say, I'm here. Later on, the girl heard dripping noises. She put her hand under the bed and received a lick, then smiled and went to sleep. Later, she heard the dripping noise again, put her hand under the bed and got another lick, smiled, went to sleep. Later again, she heard it again and began to get annoyed. She got up and checked around the house. Into the living room, nothing. Into the kitchen, nothing. And lastly, into the bathroom. She noticed red ooze on the floor. As she finally turned on the light in the bathtub. Turned on the light in the bathtub? Oh, turned on the light. In the bathtub was her dog. On the mirror was, humans can lick too. She ran to her room, grabbed her phone, and ran under the bed, forgetting the hint on the mirror. She dialed when she felt a hand and just realized what the mirror note meant as she heard a voice say, "Do you understand the hint I left for you?" So that whole time her dog was dead and she was getting a lick from a killer. This stuff is freaking me out. Urban legend number 10. Choking Doberman? Every time I come home from work, I'm greeted by my wonderful Doberman, Carly. She's huge with light hair and the most adorable face. I come home in a great mood with dog food. Carly, I called. That was wired. She usually came when I called her. I checked the house and in the room was Carly choking. I took her admittedly to the vet. I came home desperately waiting for a call from the vet. You don't know how hard this is to read this book. I suck at reading and then I didn't write good back then. Or now. Later I received a call. Did they get him? Did they get him? The vet screamed. What? I questioned. Your dog. She was choking on 3 human fingers. I then dropped the phone and ran out of the house. The cops came inside searching the house and inside the closet was a man dead with a knife with 3 fingers missing, bleeding to death. The dog bit the man's fingers off. Number 11. It was at home with my little brother watching TV. We watched a few of SpongeBob and Drake and Josh. After 30 minutes, the doorbell rang. It was the babysitter Mom had left in charge. Hi, she said. Can I come in? My brother and I let her in. So, when is your bedtime? She asked. 9. She sent us to bed, where I finished putting my PJs on. My phone rang. It was Mom. So I answered. Hey, sweetie, she said. How's the babysitter? Great, I replied. Did. Her black hair is so pretty. She has blonde hair, silly. No, she has black. Honey, if she has black hair, then that's not your babysitter. Call the cops right now, she yelled. Call the cops right now, she yelled. I hung up ready to call, but noticed the babysitter behind me with a hatchet. I told you to go straight to bed. Now you must be punished. Woo! Number 14. You've got mail. This is taking forever. Ding ding, Sally connected to Kik. Instant message. Welcome, her computer greeted her. Almost right away, she found the chat room full of her friends. They began chatting. After hours, someone else joined the chat. The new person constantly made rude and mean remarks to Sally's friends, but flattered and complimented Sally. She began to like this person, but everyone hated the new person. Okay, Sally wanted to know where the person lived so they can get together sometime. Just from complimenting her? For real, Sally? Okay, girl. Okay. Sometime. They began emailing each other. Person asked for her address. So you gotta take this person's side that was messing with your friends and meet up with them. Okay. Well, let's see what happens to Sally. Later, she gave the person the address and waited for a reply. An hour later, you've got mail. Her computer roared. She opened up her email and opened the new email titled Where I Live and read it. First not understanding and then in terror as she realized what it meant. All that was typed out was behind your couch. The fact that could have been prevented is insane. Urban legends number 17, the ugly son. There lived a rich family of 3, a father, a mother, and their baby son. Everything was perfect in their lives except for one thing, their son. Their son was a deformed child from birth, and he appeared hideous and made everyone uncomfortable. One day, the parents couldn't stand the trouble and embarrassment of their son any longer, so they decided to go to the cliff down the street and chunk him. After they threw the boy, they couldn't stand the fact that they killed their son, so they decided to have another. 9 months later comes out another boy, perfect in every apparent way. One day, as the boy grew older, 7, 8, they wanted a family photo out by the cliff. As they set up, the boy grabbed the mom and dad by the arm and says, Mommy, Daddy, you're not gonna throw me off the cliff again, are you? Again? Number 18, click clack. There was an old man who had no legs. The only way he could get around was by dragging himself around by his long nails. He was also a killer. Oh well, that's quick and straight to the point. He would sneak around town and kill people by slicing them with his long nails. So, because of this, people were ordered to go inside by 6 o'clock, until he was caught. One day, a little girl asked her mom if she could go play. It was 4 o'clock. So her mother told her to be back by 5:45. The girl then left. She played, but lost track of time. When she headed home, it was already 5:48. As she ran through the neighborhood A few streets to go, but it turned 6 o'clock. Shoot, I better run. Finally, she reached her street. That's when she heard the noise. Click, clack, drag. It got louder and louder, and she turned around, and there was click, clack. She ran and pounded on the door, but her mother had fallen asleep. Oh, fell asleep with her daughter outside. Click, clack, drag. Click, clack, drag. How do you die by an old man that's literally going like this to get you? Maybe you can crawl fast. You never know. Okay, the pounding slowly stopped. The mother woke up hours later. She saw the body, and then written on the door was, "Mother, why didn't you open the door?" She was never seen again. 19, the clown statue. A teen is babysitting the Jesperson family while they were out to a movie. The father tells her once the kids are asleep, go to the TV room and watch the TV. He doesn't want her wandering around. Parents take off, and soon she gets the kids and puts them asleep. She goes to the TV room. She tries watching TV, but she's disturbed by a clown statue in the corner of the room. She tries to ignore it for as long as possible, but it starts freaking her out. So she calls Dad. "Hey, the kids are in bed, but is it okay if I switch rooms? This clown statue is really creepy. Creeping me out." "What?" "Get the kids and go next door. I'm calling 911 now." "What's going on?" she asks. "Just get out of the house now." He hangs up. She gets the kids, then heads next door. When the police got there, she called the dad again. "What's going on?" "We don't have a clown statue." She drops the phone in shock. The police come out with the statue. It turns out it was a midget that was homeless and had been sneaking around in their house. When they were asleep, he'd stay in there and watch them. He had been watching TV right before the girl walked in. He didn't have time to hide, so he just froze in place and pretended to be a statue. That's creepy, that's creepy. See? Number 21, footprints. One night, a teenage girl was babysitting some kids who lived in the neighborhood. She put the kids in by 7 o'clock and watched the TV. She turned to the window as she saw snowfall. She looked closer and saw a guy dressed in black holding a knife. She grabbed the phone and called the police. When the police came, they searched the house. Behind her chair was a knife and water. He wasn't outside. What she saw was his reflection. 22. Sorry, Daddy. Okay. I walked into my house to be greeted by my son. "Dad, I need to tell you something," he cried. "What is it?" When he left, the babysitter was sitting in the living room listening to music and watching TV. I just sat on the chair and watched for a bit, but then this creature came out of the pantry and another one came out of the closet. They watched her, then when she turned around, they stabbed her with their long nails and ate her skin off. Then 2 came out of the fridge and 2 came out of the sink, and they all started fighting over her bones and were beating each other up. That's when they saw me. Then what happened? I said wide-eyed. "They told me if I distract you when you came home, they'd eat you and they would let me go." "I'm sorry, Daddy." Oh my gosh, you little... Before I finished, I heard doors open, then close as they walked up to me. Well, that was a good way to end this off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want like a part 2 or not, because it could have been boring, you never know. If you want like a part 2, I definitely could, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 more stories right here that I wrote. Anyways, yeah. Bye guys.